Most people believe they understand why someone stays single. They assume it's about looks, about social skills, or simply not knowing how to meet the right person. But that explanation is far too shallow. Because for many people, staying single is not an accident. It is a quiet, almost invisible decision, sometimes conscious, and sometimes made so deeply within the body that it has no words at all. Now listen carefully, because what I'm about to share is not something people usually explain easily. It is softer than it sounds, but heavier than it appears. You see, some people have already experienced what true intimacy feels like. Not the surface version, not the polite conversations, not the easy smiles that look like connection, but something deeper. The kind of moment where the mask falls away completely, where silence feels honest and presence feels exposing, where they were seen fully, not partially understood, not conditionally accepted, but seen in a way that felt absolute. And in that moment, something else also revealed itself. Something they didn't expect. They discovered how deeply another person could affect them, not just emotionally, but internally, in places they never had language for. And sometimes, that experience didn't feel safe. Because when someone sees you deeply enough, they also reach the places where you are most vulnerable. And not every vulnerability feels gentle. Some of it feels like exposure. And once that happens, the mind begins to change, quietly. It starts to associate closeness with danger. Not because closeness is dangerous, but because memory holds onto pain more tightly than comfort. So slowly, without intention, without awareness, intimacy begins to feel heavy. What once felt natural begins to feel like risk. So it's no longer rejection they fear. It becomes something more subtle. The fear of being known too deeply and losing control over what that leads to. Then there are those who appear composed on the outside, confident, capable, even admired. They move through life with structure, with control, with clarity. But beneath that surface, there is a quiet belief they carry. If someone truly sees me, all of me, they will leave. Not just the good parts, but the impatience, the doubts, the quiet insecurities, the emotional needs they try to hide. So rather than risk confirming that belief, they begin to manage distance, not in obvious ways, but in subtle ones. They hold back a little. They reveal a little less. They keep parts of themselves untouched, because distance creates control, and control feels safer than uncertainty, even if it also feels lonelier. And then, there is something even quieter than fear. Exhaustion. Not the kind that comes suddenly, but the kind that builds slowly over time. Modern life already demands so much. Constant awareness, constant emotional regulation, constant navigation of people and reactions. And when these same people look at relationships, they don't always feel excitement. Sometimes they feel weight. Because connection, when seen through exhaustion, does not feel like discovery. It feels like responsibility. More conversations, more interpretation, more emotional effort, more uncertainty. And so the mind begins to simplify things, not because it doesn't care, but because it's tired. And in that tiredness, stepping back feels like relief, not avoidance, just rest. Then there are those who see relationships differently. For them, connection is not only about closeness, it is also about what gets lost. They have seen how identity can slowly fade, how individuality can soften, how personal space can shrink. Maybe they watched it happen to someone else. Or maybe they felt it themselves. That subtle moment where love begins to feel like disappearance, where we becomes louder than I, and the self becomes less clear. So now, even the idea of closeness carries a quiet warning. Not that love is wrong, but that it may require more surrender than they are willing to give. So solitude begins to feel like preservation, not loneliness, but protection. And then, there is the world we live in now. A world filled with endless options, endless faces, endless possibilities, endless what-ifs. And the mind begins to drift. Maybe there is someone better. Maybe the next person will feel easier. Maybe something else is waiting. And slowly, without realizing it, choice becomes overwhelming. Because when everything is available, nothing feels certain. And commitment begins to feel like loss. So staying single becomes a way to escape that noise. Not a rejection of connection, but a pause from confusion. Some people also carry something deeply private, a world within themselves, a space built from thoughts, ideas, fears, contradictions, a space that feels too personal, too delicate, to fully share, because to love someone is to translate yourself. And translation is never perfect. Something always shifts. Something always gets misunderstood. And for some people, that risk feels too great. So they remain quiet and not empty, just unspoken. And finally, there are those who have looked deeply into relationships. They've seen the patterns. How often it is not just two people coming together, but two pasts colliding. Two childhoods, two emotional histories, two sets of wounds, meeting in real time. And when you see that clearly, you begin to move differently, not with fear, but with awareness. And awareness changes everything, because once you see patterns, you cannot unsee them. So instead of rushing forward, they slow down. They step back. They take time. Not because they cannot love, but because they want to understand it more clearly. Now, here is something most people never say out loud. People who feel these things rarely explain them, because there is no simple way to say it, no easy sentence that carries all of this, without being misunderstood. So instead, they simplify it. They say, I'm focusing on myself. I'm just taking time. I'm not ready right now. And others accept those words without realizing what sits beneath them. But if you are listening closely, then understand this. There is nothing wrong with you. You are not broken. You are not behind. You are not missing something others have. You have simply seen, felt, and understood a little more than most people stop to notice. And that awareness comes with a certain quietness. It makes you slower to rush, slower to attach, slower to accept what doesn't feel right. Not because you are afraid of love, but because you understand what it can cost when it is not aligned. And that is not weakness. That is clarity. So take your time. There is no rush, no race, no timeline you must follow. You are not late. You are not falling behind. You are moving at the pace your understanding requires. And when something is right, truly right, it will not ask you to abandon yourself. It will not require you to shrink or hide or disconnect from who you are. It will feel steady. It will feel calm. It will feel like something that allows you to remain fully yourself. Until then, you do not need to force anything. You do not need to explain your silence. You do not need to justify your distance Because sometimes, being alone is not the absence of love. It is the space where you finally understand what love is supposed to feel like. If you find this interesting, like, share, and subscribe for more.